Hi, this is Erica at Boomy Nutrition, and today I'm going to show you how we compost our kitchen scraps. So every time we make a meal or there's anything left over that's food related that normally people might just throw it in the trash, basically we compost it because we have a backyard where we can do that. So you can use whatever container you want, but I actually just have a tiny trash can that I got at Target, and I've been putting it on the counter and using that as a compost bucket because, it has a nice lid that stays on there, and you can open it with one hand and you can leave it open or closed. But this is, obviously you can't smell it. There is a bit of a smell, but you don't smell it unless the lid is open. And the more frequently you empty it, normally this is emptied once a week, smell doesn't get too bad, especially if the lid is closed. So this is not all the way full, but I'm just going to show you what we would do with it. Normally in a week this is full, and this is about a 1.3 gallon container. The kind of scraps that we have that normally go in here are eggshells and any type of like apple cores, anything from vegetables like carrot tops, and there's coffee filter. It's not bleached, so it can go in here. Like there's like a popsicle stick down there, stuff like that. Pretty much anything that is food related you could put in here. So right now we're going to take it out to the compost pile in the backyard. So this one is actually done for the year, for right now, so I'm not going to add anything to it. But it's just made with hardware cloth, which you can see kind of like right here, the size of that, which is what is holding it all together, even though now it's kind of coming apart. It had a strap that was holding it, but that obviously broke. And this is very passive, so a lot of people turn their compost, but I am a lazy person, so I do not do that. It just sits here and it'll break down still, just a lot slower, and then I will come back at the end of the season and I can put this on the garden. And right now it is April, so there's not as much going on, but basically what happens is I come out here and I dump stuff on the compost pile, and then I add wood chips, which I can get for free from tree companies, on top of the food scraps, and that does a good job of keeping down the odor as long as you actually do that. Sometimes I run out of wood chips, and there's definitely a smell if you don't cover stuff. So I'm starting a new one over here, which is in the grass, and a lot of stuff can go in here. So not just food scraps, but obviously stuff from the garden, any kind of garden waste that you would probably want to avoid putting anything with like viable weed seeds in it. You'll see there's some stuff right here that's actually our dog's hair. She had a haircut. That can go in. And so I'm just gonna dump this, and then what we do is we just cover that with some wood chips. And the wood chips I bring over in buckets, and you just cover it, basically just making sure that there's not like fresh stuff sticking out. And that is it. That is literally all I do. And I'll be building a new pile. I'll put a fence around it eventually, but not right now. That's the other one. The other thing you can see in this pile is pieces of like, whenever you get, some of the frozen food meals now are using like a cardboard instead of plastic. I have been putting that in. It would break down better if I turned it, but these are on the outside, so they stay pretty dry. It's not really breaking down as easily. And also like parchment paper that's not bleached, because it's just silicone. I will tear that up and I'll throw that in here too, or like paper bags, things like that. So that's kind of what it looks like. Also, to help it from getting super gross, is I will put some wood chips in the bottom, just like a couple handfuls, just so anything that's like juicy or gross that gets thrown in here is sitting in something that starts to absorb the liquids. And the whole point of having something like wood chips or wood shavings or some type of carbon like this is it's an important part of the compost. So you don't want to just have a pile of like, food scraps and like chicken poop or whatever. It's going to be way too high in nitrogen, and that's not going to be good for making a compost. So you're going to want to have something like carbon in there. And the main reason, especially around here for doing it is because it helps with the smell. There's no smell when you cover it. So if you had a pile and you didn't have any type of carbon, it would just be a pile of rotting scraps and it would smell horrible. But if you use wood chips, which you can get for free from the tree services, it's a really good way to make a compost. This one is completely passive. You could turn it, you could check the temperature so you actually had a hot compost, but that's just how I do compost here. Very low maintenance, and then I don't have to throw away all this stuff in the trash can. I can actually use it and it gets a second life. Thanks for watching.